All right, guys. Today, we are playing something completely illegal in the jungle. Full crit Sett. And trust me, if this build gets ahead even a little bit, the game becomes unplayable for the enemy team. People see Sett and they expect the normal bruiser build. They think you're tanky, slow, easy to kite. But then suddenly, you run out of the jungle, punch them 2 times, and they disappear instantly. This build is honestly one of the funniest ways to carry solo queue right now because nobody respects your damage early enough. But here's the thing. Crit Sett is not just about running at people randomly. If you play him with no patience, you will int the entire game. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to play Sett jungle correctly, how to snowball, how to carry fights, and the biggest mistakes that stop most players from winning with this build. Alright, let's get into it.
So first of all, the biggest strength of Sett jungle is his early fighting power. A lot of junglers in League right now rely on mechanics, mobility, dashes, but Sett just walks at you and beats you to death with pure stats. Especially in lower and mid elo, players disrespect Sett's early damage constantly. And that's exactly how you snowball games with this pick. When you start the game, your goal is simple. Farm efficiently, keep your HP high, and look for fights around scuttle or overextended lanes. Because if Sett gets 1 or 2 early kills, the game changes completely. Now, one mistake I see a lot of Sett players make. They force ganks way too early. You are not Jarvan. You are not Lee Sin. You don't need to spam impossible ganks every 30 seconds. Sett jungle becomes terrifying once you have gold. So sometimes the best play is honestly just clearing camps fast and waiting for the enemy to make a mistake. And trust me, in solo queue, people always make mistakes. Now when it comes to fighting, you need to understand something very important about crit Sett. You are not the front line. A lot of players build crit, then engage like a tank, and instantly explode. That's not how this build works. Crit Sett is basically an assassin disguised as a juggernaut. You wait, flank, you find the right target, and then you delete them before they can react. Especially squishy champions. AD carries, mages, enchanters, they cannot survive against your burst once you get items.
And honestly, one of the funniest things about this build is watching people panic after your first auto attack crits them for half their health bar. Now let's talk about the most important ability on Sett, your W. Because this ability decides whether you carry the fight or completely throw it. Bad Sett players use W instantly. The moment the fight starts, boom, they press it. But good Sett players stay patient. You wait for your grit bar to fill up, you absorb damage, and then you hit the biggest true damage punch possible. And in teamfights, that single ability can literally win the game by itself. Especially when enemies group together too hard. Now another thing you need to learn on Sett jungle is target selection. Just because you can ult the enemy tank doesn't mean you should. Sometimes the best play is ignoring the front line completely, flashing directly onto the ADC and ending the fight instantly. Because once the enemy carry dies, most solo queue teams completely collapse mentally. And that's honestly how you hard carry with Sett. Not by playing slow, not by frontlining forever, but by creating chaos. Now let's talk about jungle pathing for a second. A really important thing on Sett jungle is avoiding useless downtime. A lot of low junglers waste insane amounts of time standing in bushes waiting for impossible plays. Meanwhile, their camps are sitting alive doing nothing. If a gank isn't free, just reset your tempo. Take camps, invade, pressure objectives. Because crit Sett scales insanely hard once you start stacking items.
And honestly, once you hit your core build, the champion becomes disgusting. You start one-shotting squishies with auto attacks, your Q melts towers, and your split push becomes insanely hard to stop. That's another thing people underestimate about Sett. His side lane pressure is terrifying. If the enemy team sends only one person to stop you, there's a very high chance you just kill them instantly. And if they send multiple people, your team gets free objectives somewhere else. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes players make with aggressive builds like this. They get fed, then immediately start ego fighting every single enemy. Listen, even if you are strong, you still need discipline. You cannot randomly run into 5 people alone and expect miracles every fight. Sometimes the correct play is waiting, letting enemies waste cooldowns, then going in after the fight already started. Because once crowd control hits Sett before he reaches the backline, things can get very ugly very fast. And honestly, patience is what separates good Sett players from great ones. Now, another thing I love about Sett jungle is how easy it is to punish weak mental players. The moment you kill someone twice early game, they start panicking every time you disappear from the map. And that pressure alone creates opportunities everywhere. Enemy laners start playing scared. Supports waste wards. People stop pushing waves properly. And that's exactly how you take over solo queue games. Not just with mechanics, but with pressure. Now, in late game team fights, your positioning matters more than anything. You do not want to be the first person enemies see. Hide in fog. Attack from angles. Wait for carries to step too far forward. Because the moment Sett reaches a squishy target with crit items, the fight can end instantly. And honestly, that's why this build is so addictive. Every game feels like you have the power to completely take over by yourself. One good flank, one massive ultimate, one huge W, and suddenly the enemy team is typing in all chat wondering what just happened. Now, obviously, this build is not perfect. It feels brutal, fast, aggressive, and every fight feels like complete madness. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more completely cursed League builds. And let me know what champion you want to see next.